Hello, welcome to Menopause Barbie, your management, your way. This is tutorial number 25. And if you're following along in the book today, we are covering pages 116 to 118. And if you're following along with the outline notes, we're on page 27. So, welcome back. In the last tutorial, I introduced you to foods that contain phytoestrogens. And I was pretty general in my comments, and today I'm going to continue that line of discussion, but I'm going to be a little more specific about certain foods. And I think you're going to find that it's all quite helpful. Now, some of you watching this may want to manage your menopause using dietary products. You know, the whole thing about my tutorials is I'm unbiased. I'm teaching you things in the diet and lifestyle category, the vitamin and mineral category, the botanical and herbal category, the hormonal medication category, and the non-hormonal medication category. And you get to pick and choose. So some of you may want to use dietary options for managing your menopause. And if so, these phytoestrogen products may play a really large role in your attempt to get estrogen. And because they might play such a large role, I'm going to spend some time talking to you about some of these products in greater detail. It's really quite possible that you don't know anything about a lot of these products unless you happen to be vegan or vegetarian. And I think most vegans and vegetarians know these products quite well because they're looking for not only protein substitutes, but also meat type substitutes. And so just let's see what you learn. Let's spend some time on the three most prominent estrogen containing food sources. Those three things are soy products, flax seeds, and something called bioflavonoids. We'll do one at a time. We're starting with soy. Are you thinking yuck? Yuck to soy? Who wants to eat soy? It's awful, it tastes terrible. Well, yeah, it doesn't have a lot of taste, but wait until you learn more because you might just convince your taste buds to like it. You know, soy is an excellent source of protein and fiber. And it has so many positive effects on your body that it kind of seems too good to be true. It offers all these really desirable benefits of estrogen, but none of the risks of estrogen. So you can use soy products in isolation, or you can combine them with other options in managing your menopause your way, and you can combine them with other foods also. So these soy foods come in many forms. You have soybeans. Have you ever gone to a Japanese restaurant and ordered edamame? You know those green beans that they give you at the beginning, and they're really tasty and they have salt and stuff on them? That is soybeans. Okay, so this is the little bean that's inside the green sprout that you eat when you go to a Japanese restaurant. So soybeans has soy in it. As I showed you in the last tutorial, there's tofu, and here you have regular tofu. It comes in firm, medium, and soft. And this one happens to be smoked tofu. This one's really good, delicious, because it's already spiced and tasty. And most tofu doesn't have a lot of taste, but that one does. Soy milk. Soy milk is everywhere. You know soy milk. You've seen it everywhere. I mean, there's all kinds of brands. This one is something, this one's called Milk Alternative. Then it says soya here. You'll see soya a lot. But there's a bunch of brands. And flavors, you can get vanilla, you can get sweetened, you can get unsweetened, you can get chocolate, you can get strawberry. Soy milks come in all kinds of flavors. They're actually very good. They taste delicious, especially if you just use them in the same ways that you use regular milk. So soy milk is really a great thing to know about. What else do we have here? Then there's all these soy meat substitutes. I showed you these last time. So here's hamburgers, here's sausages, spicy sausage, country sausage. Here's chicken strips, and this is only one brand. There are many, many brands of these meat substitutes, and depending on where you live, you'll find different ones. My husband and I move to a different country every year, and so I find things every year that differ greatly from the last year. I never know what I'll find, but it's kind of fun to see what's available, and I certainly discover all kinds of things that I never knew existed. There's also a bunch of soy-based dairy substitutes. If you're vegan, you might miss eating dairy products, and so there are things like soy cheese. Here's a cheese. These cheeses come in every flavor, mozzarella and Swiss and cheddar and everything you can imagine. Soy cheeses. So they're made with soy instead of real milk. There's also soy yogurt. And look at this. This is my favorite. This is soy ice cream. Look, it's called tofutti because it's made with tofu. It's delicious. It's creamy. It's wonderful. It's excellent. I eat this whole carton. I don't know who decided this is supposed to be 4 servings because in my opinion, it's 1. I'm a pig. And there's soy protein powders. You know, people like making smoothies. And soy protein powders are a great way to get your protein and some estrogen if that's what you're trying to do. And you can get them in flavors. You can get vanillas and chocolates and all these great flavors. So if you're interested in getting some extra estrogen that way, that's one of the ways to do it. These soy products are becoming more and more common and very readily available on all kinds of grocery store shelves. It used to be that you could only find stuff like this in specialty shops that were designed for health foods and alternative foods, but now you can go to just regular old grocery stores, Safeways and things like that have all of this kind of stuff. Do you remember when I taught you the word isoflavones? Isoflavones just means a phytoestrogen. It means plant sources of estrogen. And I taught you that term so that you would understand it when you're dealing with dietary estrogens, because that's going to be the thing that you see on a label as opposed to the word estrogen. You're not going to see the word estrogen on food labels, but you might see the term isoflavone. So you might care about assessing how much estrogen you're getting in these foods. If you're a person trying to use soy products as a source of estrogen, you might say, well, I want to quantitate it. How do I know? Well, here's how you quantitate it. Generally speaking, 1 gram of soy protein will give you 1.2 to 1.7 milligrams of isoflavones or estrogen. Now, it is going to depend on the type of soybean that's in your product that you're eating. So different soy products are going to have different quantities of estrogen in them. So let's talk about some of the quantities of estrogen in these soy foods. If you eat, say, a processed soy product, okay, so there's these things like, these are soy nuggets. This is the same kind of thing that's minced up. So these are processed soy products. It's still soy, but they're processed, okay? Look at them. I mean, you add them to your food and they soften up and then you eat them. When you eat this kind of thing, or soy powder, this is a flour. This is flour, just like regular flour, but it's made from soy. When you eat those, you're getting only 1/10 of the quantity of estrogen that you would get in whole soybeans. So when you eat whole soybeans, you're getting a greater percentage, a greater quantity of estrogen than when you eat a product made from soy, especially if it's a processed product, okay? If you eat tempeh, remember I taught you tempeh? Tempeh is fermented soy, and what fermentation does is increase the quantity of estrogen. It's like it concentrates it. So tempeh has more estrogen in it than regular soy. So you might ask, why is this so important? Why are we spending so much time talking about something as so-so as soy? Well, there's a reason. You know I have a reason for everything, right? Have you figured out that I have a reason for doing everything I do? I have a reason for teaching you the way I do and leading up to things. There's always a reason, okay? The reason is that soy has many, many positive effects on menopause. Listen to this list. I'm going to tell you all the positive things soy can do as you're going through perimenopause and postmenopause. Helps regulate your periods if you're perimenopausal. It decreases PMS if you're perimenopausal. It decreases your hot flashes. It decreases your night sweats. It decreases your mood swings. Oh, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. It decreases irritability. It decreases your dry skin. It decreases your hair loss. It strengthens your nails. It also decreases your weight gain. And it decreases your calcium loss. Oh, that's not all. Stay tuned. It decreases your risk of breast cancer. It decreases your risk of uterine cancer. And it decreases your risk of a heart attack. I mentioned those in the previous tutorial. But it also decreases your risk of osteoporosis and colon cancer. And finally, it decreases migraine headaches. Do you see what I mean? Isn't that like a list of some kind of wonder food? Doesn't that sound like some kind of magical food source? And with all these different sources of soy foods, with all these, ice creams and cheeses and tofus and all kinds of stuff, powders, you can consume a lot of soy and still have a lot of variety in your diet. It's not like you have to eat just one thing all the time. The benefits of the soy are dose dependent. That means the more soy you consume, the more benefits you're going to get. And because there are different quantities of estrogen in some of these different foods, it might be difficult to measure your intake precisely. It's not like if you were taking a pill. If you were taking a pharmaceutical pill, you would know exactly how much you're getting. You won't have that benefit here. You will have an idea maybe, and you know that these estrogens are much weaker than pharmaceutical estrogens. But generally speaking, you'd kind of want to monitor this if you're using this in a manner that is therapeutic for you. I told you last time that Asians eat about 40 to 80 milligrams of soy in their diet every day, but they do that their entire lives. For purposes of menopause, if you were trying to take care of your menopause symptoms with these kinds of products, you would need about 100 to 160 milligrams of these soy products. Okay, so that's a lot. It's quite a lot, but you can certainly do it. So there you have it with soy. Regardless of how good all this sounds, meaning the benefits, not necessarily the taste, you have to do what's most comfortable for you. There's a lot of hype about soy being dangerous. There are a lot of restaurants that won't serve soy products or tofus because they believe that it's dangerous because it has estrogens in it. If you believe that, then don't eat it. But if you're interested in managing your menopause by using these products, there you have it. On the other hand, opposite the hype, think about the Japanese. The Japanese ingest more soy than any other culture. And yet, it's like Japanese have some kind of anti-aging magic in their genes. Have you ever noticed how they look so good and they age so well? I mean, you see these Japanese women and they're in their 70s and they look like they're 30 or something. I mean, they're incredible. So there might be something to it. It might have some magic in it. Do what's right for you, okay? Now we're going to talk about flax seeds. Flax seeds are a big deal. Flax seeds have the benefit of being anti-cancer agents, and they're antioxidants, which means they decrease aging. Whenever you see the word antioxidant, it helps prevent the aging process. And flax seeds also help prevent heart attacks. You already probably know that they're an excellent source of fiber, and they're also an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids. So here you have flax seeds that are regular flax seeds, and here you have them ground up. And you can eat them any way, but to get the best benefits, it's best to grind them. But you can use them as a garnish. You can eat them by the spoonful. I take a spoon of flax seeds and just eat them because I think they're fun and crunchy and I like the way they taste. You can put them in foods. And if you're trying to use these in a therapeutic sense, the dosage of flax seeds, more like ground flax seeds, is 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon a day. And you just grind them up. Again, you can just take a spoon and eat them by themselves without having to cook or use them for anything else. It's up to you. Okay, finally, let's talk about the bioflavonoids. Now, this is the group that probably is unfamiliar to you because you don't know the word bioflavonoids. Well, bioflavonoids are things you do know about. They're substances that are all around you. They're substances in orange peels and lemon peels. You know how sometimes people grate these? There's great bioflavonoids in them. Cherries. Couldn't find any fresh cherries, but cherries have bioflavonoids. Blueberries and grapes and cranberries. So any food that's bright and colorful, when you think of bright, colorful foods and fruits and vegetables, they all have bioflavonoids in them. So just think of your bright, colorful, really actually pretty fruits and vegetables. Now you can also get bioflavonoids as a nutritional supplement. And if you want to use it that way, you want to get the dose of 1,000 milligrams a day for relieving menopause symptoms. So if you're going to do it for relieving menopause symptoms, it's probably good to think about a supplement just because you know how much you're getting. It's harder to know how much you're getting with food, okay? Now, and we're going to talk about one other thing just because it's important. They're not phytoestrogens, quite the opposite. It's meat. We're talking about meat because, animals have hormones. So that means that meat products contain estrogen. The problem is, how much? We've all probably heard about girls entering puberty early because of all the animal hormones they get from the meat they eat. And there's absolutely no reason to doubt that. But we don't know what the effects of animal hormones are on menopause. But most likely there's some difference between meat-eating menopausal women and non-meat-eating menopausal women. We just don't know what it is. No one's studied it. It's probably a good idea to study it. There's no doubt that a vegetable-based diet like a vegetarian or vegan diet is beneficial for both menopause and aging. And the flip side of that is that, meat-free diets aren't for everybody. You should not do something that doesn't work for you. The idea with all that I give you is for you to figure out what works for you. I am not here to coerce you. I'm not here to encourage you to do one thing or another. I am totally unbiased. I want you to do what's right for you. So, now you're informed about dietary sources of estrogen. You can use this information any way you want. Go to your restaurant, go to your grocery store, cook however you want, but know what you're doing with this stuff. And if you're wanting to use foods as a source of estrogen, now you know what you're doing. Okay, I think you're going to be surprised at how often you think about this information. That's where we're stopping today. And in the next tutorial, we're going to take a trip to the grocery store where I can show you how to find various products like this. It's going to be a phytoestrogen field trip. So I invite you to come along with me for that. It'll be kind of fun. We'll be doing it in Cape Town, South Africa. So you'll get to see a little bit of Cape Town, South Africa in that video. And so I'll see you then. Hope you have a good time until I see you again. Bye.